Hello, so there's some things that I need to like fill in the gaps with this, because honestly it's not gone to plan, okay? It's not gone to plan. So I wrote down in my notes everything I need to talk about, which there's a few things, okay? Hello, so welcome back to my channel. Hey, if you're new here. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Hannah and I am a 24-year-old mum to a 2-year-old and currently 27 weeks pregnant with baby number 2, which is a boy, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, I filmed a first trimester vlog, so if you are new here, go and watch the first one. I basically just spoke about my feelings and like what was going on, bump updates kind of thing throughout the first trimester, how my first scan went. Second trimester, I basically planned to film how I did the first time round. However, things just, I feel like in general the second trimester for me just wasn't the best, which I'm gonna explain. So I didn't really get round to filming what I wanted to film. So at around 18 weeks, I think it was, I actually started putting more on TikTok, and I then gave weekly bump updates on TikTok. So that is at the end of this video. That is currently that's what I've got for you guys. So I've got 18 to 27 weeks bump updates, how I'm feeling, symptoms. I'm going to explain a little bit more now, and then yeah, you'll see that at the end of this video. Does that make sense? So the first clip that you will see, which I will insert after this, is I basically tried filming an intro at 17 weeks. So for 17 weeks, at 17 weeks I went for my whooping cough vaccine, the vaccine for the cough one. I went for my vaccine for that. So I basically tried filming an intro then, and I just feel like it wasn't my day. Like I just wasn't feeling it. But that is the first thing that you will see, and basically what the doctor said, how I would feel. I didn't actually really have any symptoms. Like I probably felt, I mean I can't remember, almost like 10 weeks ago, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry if this is a little bit scrambled, but let's just go straight to 17 weeks now. The whooping cough, it's a whooping cough. It literally took like seconds. Like they literally just asked me what arm, put it in, said that I might get a temperature, or my arm might feel really heavy. They were like, which arm do you want it in? I was like, I don't know, like I'll just try and get away with not doing anything, so it doesn't really matter. We had the midwife appointment last Friday, so a week ago today, and we heard the heartbeat for the first time, which was so good, because if you watch my first trimester vlog, you will know that the baby was so stubborn and it took ages to get to the actual scan and like a good picture. But when we looked for the heartbeat, like she just knew where the baby was and found the heartbeat straight away, which I was really relieved about. So yeah, that's exciting, that's good, and yeah, I don't know, everything just seems to be going well. So I'm just so happy. Okay, me again, I'm back. Where I've been from 14 weeks to 18 weeks, apart from that small clip at 17 weeks. Basically, I think it must have been just 30th of May. I was 14 weeks. Oh shit, yeah. Okay, so I was 14 weeks. Basically, our family dog died or had to be put down. His name is Harvey. Picture of him. Very cute. He was old. Like I think he was like 11 or 12 or something. And for a Labrador with like hip problems and stuff, like that's a really good age. We didn't think he was gonna make it to see Talia. Talia's 2, and he died. Like Talia was 2 in July and he died at the May time. And my mum basically just called me one day and was like, he's not doing well, like we're gonna take him to the vets. And when I went round to see him to like almost say goodbye, his back legs had like completely gone. Like you could feel there was no bone to work. Like it was just really sad. And I feel like as a regular human losing a dog, a pet that's been in their life for maybe 13, I don't know, but basically like it's hard enough to lose a pet. I've never done it before. It was really hard. I mean, I've lost like a cat and stuff, but I was quite young, so I didn't really have that almost like attachment, if you like. Yeah, when Harvey died, it was really sad. I literally sat and watched them put him down, and it was just awful. And pregnant me, I couldn't cope with that. Like for 2 weeks I was gone. Like I just kept on crying every day. Like it took me ages to really accept it, if that makes sense, even though we didn't even think he was going to make the last like 2 years, because he was just old and he was just getting frail. But yeah, so that was a 14 weeks pregnant, and honestly it literally took me about 2 weeks, so that got me to 16 weeks. Like I feel like it was a wasted 2 weeks of my life, but like I needed to grieve because I was just so sad, and mixed with pregnancy hormones, it wasn't a good mix. Okay, it wasn't a good mix. After I'd cried for like however long, I just felt really deflated after, and really struggled to like pick myself back up, if you like. I literally had like little to no energy. Like I felt exhausted. So we're getting to 17 weeks, and then that was when I posted the day that I had my vaccine. So even though we were almost prepared, like I wasn't really prepared, if that makes sense. So anyway, when I did have energy, I didn't want to pick up the camera like at all. I just wanted to be with Talia and play with her. Excuse me. In the first trimester vlog, I was basically saying how I had such mum guilt because I was just so tired. Like for 3 months I basically just laid on the sofa trying to get through every day with a toddler and being pregnant and trying to like not be sick, and yeah, like it was just a lot, and I had such mum guilt because I felt like I wasn't doing enough with Talia. And then yeah, like when I did have energy, I just wanted to spend it with Talia. Like the further along this pregnancy I go, the more I'm like, I don't have long left with just having one child, so like I want to spend as much time as I can with her, if that makes sense. But also obviously do what I want to do, aka filming for YouTube. I've started posting on TikTok more, actually just going out and spending time with Talia. So over the second trimester, because I can talk about this now, like I'm 27 weeks 4 days. My moods have been up and down constantly. Comparing my pregnancy this time around to Talia, like I was not like this with Talia. I feel like, I don't know, I mean, you ask Christian, you'll probably get a different opinion, but like I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant with a boy. Like I don't know whether that has any, I don't know whether that affects anything differently, but like I don't know, like I just feel I'm very temperamental. I don't think this is actually factual information, but I blame the fact that I'm pregnant with a boy with like the testosterone. I blame that. I'm like, that's what's making me more angry, like I swear. But I don't think that's actually a fact, but that's almost how I feel. But obviously I am really happy. I just, yeah, the closer I get, like the fact that next week I'm in my like 3rd trimester, like my last trimester with this baby, it just makes me so like I'm just like screaming in my head, because I'm like every day is just a day closer. I don't know, it's just, yeah, I don't really know how to put into words how I feel right now. So I think at 18 weeks, which is when I posted my first TikTok of my bump, I think that was like my prime time for energy. That was when I felt like my best. The first trimester, just, it was like a washout. Like I literally just I was just getting through every day. And then second trimester, the closer I got to 18 weeks, and I feel great. And now my energy is starting to like deflate again, and I just feel like I'm just trying to pedal on through. I do feel like a lot of it is to do with having a toddler. Like I obviously have never done that before, like having been pregnant with a toddler, and comparing that to my first pregnancy. Like I keep trying to tell Chris this and he doesn't understand, but like when it's your like first, you can sleep anytime you want, you can wake up anytime you want within reason. Like if you've got to go to work, like obviously you have to get ready for work, but like you can do what you want. Like you don't get disturbed in the night unless you're like in the 3rd trimester and you're like weeing all the time. Like you go to bed when you want. Like if you want to go to bed at 7 o'clock, like you go to bed at 7 o'clock, do you know what I mean? But like when you've got a toddler, you have to make sure they're obviously like in bed first. You make sure they're like teed, bathed, bed. Like you can't just go to bed, I don't know. And then like in the morning, this is like the biggest thing that I'm struggling with, I think, is like Talia wakes up on the whole between like 6 and 6:30. So Chris has got her up and then he goes to work at 6:30, so then I have to get up. So like I can't just chill out, like I have to get up. And if Chris wakes me up, that's when I'm more likely to like be sick. So I almost, in an ideal world, have to wake up before 6:30, but then I feel like I'm not resting enough, if that makes sense. If any of you that are following have a toddler and are pregnant, I feel like you will literally completely understand how I'm feeling. But I wouldn't change it, but it is hard. Like being pregnant with a toddler, I do find it, like, it is hard. So many people do it, so I feel like you can't sit there and complain, but I don't know, like yeah, it's hard. One thing that did come out of the second trimester was 7 weeks tomorrow, I think it was. Yeah, 7 weeks tomorrow, Talia came off the boob. I was 20 weeks pregnant, and Talia basically, so it was her birthday on the Monday, and on the Saturday we basically went out for the day. So we went to a local cafe, went to Bournemouth, she slept in the car, we came home, had dinner, and then went to Talia's granddad's, and then came home, she went to bed. And I feel like the day was just so full on. And I got into bed and I said to Chris, I was like, she hasn't had boob all day. And I was just so surprised, and I was like, okay, like this is good, because this is where we want to be. Like I originally said, by the time I was 6 months pregnant, like I wanted her to be off the boob, just so I got like 3 months to myself, and before hopefully I can start it again. And on the Sunday, she didn't seem overly bothered. Like I was going out of my way to try and make her not have boob. A whole other day went and we didn't have, and I was like, okay, like we're going great here. And basically that just carried on. After the first week I was like, wow, like I don't know, like because I'd nearly done this for like 2 whole years of her life. Like for 2 whole years I'd been breastfeeding her, and then when it was like a week where she hadn't had any breast milk, I was like, oh my god, like it's so different. We've actually got into such a better routine. Like she was going to bed, like she wasn't having breast milk anyway, like we just given her cow's milk, and we did that for quite a long time. Chris always puts her to bed anyway, so like I am nothing to do with that, so there was no reason why she would have milk at bedtime. When we started putting her into her own bed, I feel like that really helped things, just because when she was like in our room, I feel like it was just constantly there for her, but like when she started going into her bed, it obviously wasn't just there, so she couldn't always have it. 7 weeks forward from that, like we've got into such a good routine in terms of her bed, and she does have like the odd night where she'll wake up and most of the time she just wants a hug. Like I don't know, and Chris does that because we've got into a habit where Chris puts her to bed, so then when the baby's here I can fully focus on the baby and Chris can be there for Talia. But honestly that's changed so much, like it for the good for us, because like Talia's in a good routine. She doesn't really wake, like she doesn't want me in the night, so I get an actual better night's sleep because I'm not waking up for her. It's just been so good, and I think the whole experience ended better for me because I didn't have to wean her off. Like I feel like if I had to wean her off, it would have been so much harder because I'm almost trying to like force it, if you know what I mean. But the fact that like one day she just, like we just didn't have time, so she didn't, and then the next day like she just managed a whole day without it, I just feel like that was, it's a nice way to like end the 2 years, if that makes sense, because like it wasn't rushed, it wasn't pushed, like she decided that. And it could be something as simple as like my milk changed, baby clothes in the washing machine, going crazy downstairs. People always ask me like, am I sad that I'm not breastfeeding her anymore? And I think because I'm so focused on almost like the next chapter, if you like feeding baby boy, I'm not bothered, because I'm just like, this is, oh, I keep burping, I'm sorry. Like this is a nice rest before I start it all again, because I'm focused on this next, like with the pregnancy, and I'm focused on the next baby. Like I'm not thinking, like if Talia was my one and only child and like we fully stopped breastfeeding, I think I would be sad, because it's been 2 years of our life, and it is sad that it's just like ended. But yeah, because I've got another one coming, I think it's just, I don't know, it is what it is. Okay, so I'm actually obsessed with how this has turned out. So if you obviously want to see my symptoms, press pause. Also, if you want to go follow my TikTok, is on the screen now. I post more like daily updates on there. But yeah, I love watching my bump grow, and it's just, I don't know, it's so magical. Also, if you're looking at me now going, Christ, you wear the same like 4 outfits on repeat, is because I have hardly anything that actually fits me right now. But this blue dress is one of my favourites, and so is this dress. But honestly, look at my bump there. Oh my god. In a minute, you're going to see my 25 bump update from TikTok, which is like how I'm feeling, what I look like, and I feel like that is when I really like popped out. 25 weeks, I also had a midwife appointment, so I don't actually know whether it's because it's my second that we are having less appointments, or whether this is just actually what happens, because I've just forgotten all about Talia. But I had an appointment at 8 weeks, an appointment at 16, an appointment at 25, and that's my only midwife appointments I've had. And then obviously I've had my 12-week scan and my 20-week scan. 8-week midwife appointment. Obviously I would have spoken about that in the first trimester vlog, but that was just like taking blood and talking about being pregnant, basically, I don't know. And then the 16-week appointment was, they listened to the heartbeat for the first time, which, yeah, was just really exciting. I actually spoke about it, but that reassurance of like listening to your baby's heartbeat for the first time, I just feel like it's just amazing, isn't it? But yeah, and then I had my 25-week update where they measured my bump for the first time. My next appointment is next week, next Wednesday. It goes 25, 28, 31, and then it's more regularly, I think, every 2 weeks, I don't know. So they measured my bump. So at 25 weeks, I was measuring at 26 centimeters, but I had my appointment on like the Friday, and I would be 26 weeks on the Monday. They always say that your bump should roughly be how many weeks you are. So I was nearly 26, so being 26 centimeters, my bump is about right. Baby was like led that way, if that makes sense, because I've felt a lot of movements like quite early, I felt, and my midwife was like, got an anterior placenta, so I don't think I should actually feel him as much. And I do feel him quite a lot, but like not how I used to when it was like the early on, like a few weeks back, if that makes sense. My midwife said that she reckons that his like hands and feet are basically like pushing out, which is why I can feel them, and then I haven't recently, so maybe he's like turned a little bit. Thing that I just couldn't do, and for the last 2 appointments, 16 weeks and 25, it's I couldn't wee. Like, comment below if you feel the same, but I felt too much pressure to wee, like I just couldn't do it. And I think he was actually lying on my bladder. You feel that pressure to wee, but then like a tiny little piddle comes out and you're like, great, like that's not a wee. Like I think that was like actually what's happening. So I don't think it was like almost the pressure to wee. I think like he was just on my bladder and I couldn't wee. Obviously I'll update you guys in the 3rd trimester how my appointment next week goes. That is basically everything, filling in the gaps. But I don't know, I hope you guys feel very updated on what's been going on in my life. Okay, so annoyingly I got copyrighted for the music on here, so I'm going to do a little voiceover. Honestly though, these last 3 bump updates, wow, you're not ready for this. Look at that bump. It's mad. I feel insane. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you feel a bit more up to date with what's been going on in my life now, because I feel like that was really what this whole thing was, like a massive update, bump update, pregnancy update, what's been going on in my life. I honestly don't know whether I'm starting to nest early. Like, I was on TikTok the other day and so many people were like, I'm due in November, like when are you washing clothes? And everyone was like 30 weeks, and I was like, are you kidding? Like, we're having almost winter babies. Like, I'm washing everything now whilst the weather's nice. Does that not make more sense? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, as it really supports my channel. Comment below if you have any words of wisdom for the 3rd trimester. And yeah, I will see you guys for one of these videos in like 13 weeks time, hopefully. I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my life. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video very, very soon. Bye.